kick this thing off, my man.
Let's do it.
It's late. We've got families. We've got jobs. What is up, Vito? Here we go. Pro Wrestling Planet podcast, or the Brand and Vito show, whatever you want to call it. Here we are. It is May 18th, 2022. What is up,
and it's
my
Wednesday
man?
night.
It's Wednesday night. You know what that means, right?
You know what that means. Yep.
How you doing, my man? I hear you're a little bit worse for wear. You actually,
yeah.
You know, for those of you who may not know, our good friend Vito here, that joins us, joins me rather for these podcasts and such. He mentioned last week, and, we'll kind of get deeper into it, but, a man of the stripes.
Yeah.
Definitely throwing it down.
Law of the ring.
Laying down the law here on the West Coast in Power Pit Pro Wrestling.
That's
and
right.
You had a little bit of a rough go of it this last week.
I did.
Our boy ended up getting choke slammed. So, I mean, like, how you feeling? Are you?
I ran into a big, scary man, and he put me down very, very fast and very hard. But now I feel good.
It's got to be intense, man.
Yeah.
I have never been choke slammed. I can only imagine.
That was my first choke slam.
Jeez Louise.
But I feel good. It was cool. It was my very first bump, first choke slam, first anything.
First time you had actually had your had hands laid on you as a referee.
I've been squashed in the corner, and I've been kicked by feet getting an airplane spin. So those are my two former brushes with assault, you might say. But I've never taken a big slam. That was my first one.
Any kind of, and I don't think it's like really, because like anybody can talk about, doing stuff, especially getting into like, the ring in general or whatever, fans and other people just kind of like, make everything seem so easy. But I mean, firsthand, I know firsthand that it's not, especially when you're working in and around the business and you kind of see more and more of like just how things are put together. And what I know from even my experience with you guys, just being in the ring doing GM stuff back in the day, like 5 years ago or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Getting kind of like pushed around by some of the talent then, and I wasn't really prepared for, and I was pushed a couple times, and, I can't remember who pushed me, if it was, I think it was like Tower or somebody, and, he laid into it, man. It was no like joke of a push. Like it was, it was like Slipknot mosh pit circa 2004 kind of push.
Nice.
But no, it gets physical, man. So yeah, it's any kind of physicality. And then of course, taking a choke slam, I can't imagine. So, but it looks like, you're good to go. Strong man, strong-willed, and you've made it here
I'll live to count another day.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And you're fully protected. So, no ramifications coming your way. I hate to see what ramifications will come that dude's way, but we're here to do this Dynamite review, Vito. Here we are again, man. We're a couple weeks away now. We're roaring towards the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, which so far seems like it has like 20 matches on it. I don't know if that's just me.
Nope, that's AEW.
But like, I mean, usually the cards are pretty full, But now
Yeah.
I'm like, I got like count in my head, and I'm just like, man, there's going to be a lot of freaking matches, and we'll get to some of that here as we go on. Let me go start it off. Where else at the beginning, of course, we get a Owen Hart Cup, the Owen Hart Memorial Classic Tournament. We get a match.
Hey, Brand, one
Yeah.
second.
Yo,
You know what I like about Tony Khan and AEW?
what's that, bud?
No messing around out the gate. They go straight to it every time.
It is refreshing to start the show with a match. I wish Raw would
Yeah.
do that more.
Oh, yeah. I think that's why it's more refreshing, because all we've gotten is 15 minutes of plunder at the beginning of all the wrestling shows we've watched before AEW, and now that we got AEW, it's
Right.
like, bam, straight to wrestling.
For the most
I
part,
can appreciate
yes.
that.
For the most part, yes. I mean, if you look at, I mean, it would be a fascinating study if someone would actually go through like every episode of Raw and like the percentage of the ones that start with a 15-minute talking segment as opposed to not.
Yeah.
I bet it's got to be like 80-20 or 70-30.
If that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
No.
pretty heavy. Every now and then they'll throw you a curveball
80,
and start with
15.
a match. But 3 out of 4 Raws, 4 out of 5 Raws, it starts with this, 15-minute long talking setup segment.
That leads to a match sometimes.
Right. And then it's like a huge, and then we're seeing the same people on the screen for like the first 30 minutes of the show. I don't think that that's really optimal either.
No.
But they also have 3 hours to cover. This is only 2 here. Still, they could find a way to freshen it up a little bit.
Wrestling.
We get this Owen Hart Cup match, bro. The Joker's card is Johnny Elite. I was shocked as hell.
It was not Cesaro.
This was not even on our radar, man. Neither of us were even thinking about Morrison.
Johnny Elite. Of course, he's on a different show, and he's got to use the name of the show in his
This
name.
has got to be like the 20th name he's had. It's like
he changes it to where he's at. Johnny Nitro, Johnny Impact, John Morrison.
Right.
Yeah.
But what was he in Lucha?
Johnny Mundo.
He was Mundo in Lucha, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Vito? I think that this was fine. I think there were better matches on this card, but it was solid.
Hot crowd.
They were hot. They cooled down later, but they were hot for this. This was also, I thought, kind of a weird dynamic. Just the styles, Joe's style versus the kind of flashy whatever, that Johnny does. But they ended up making it work fine, I thought. What was your take on this match?
I didn't have many notes except for Johnny looked good. He didn't have ring rust. I think he's been doing some indie stuff, but he looks pretty good. And
he looked fine, but he kind of the ending was kind of shaky.
Yeah, it was weird.
The ending was shaky. He did his the setup for the 450. And he had him out way too far in the middle of the ring, and he, landed basically on his knees.
Did that Alexa Bliss thing where she does the flip and then to her knees, and then she does it over to the knees again.
Right? Yeah, it was just kind of weird. And then, and then the Starship Pain gets he gets the knees up, right? Joe gets the knees up, and then we go to the finish, Muscle Buster off the top rope, and Joe goes on. Now, this was kind of busy here at the end. Um, you get the Dutt and Lethal gang come out. You get the best friends come out for the save.
Yeah, I put best friends question mark.
Right, because that was super random. Like, okay,
Yeah,
all of a sudden, the best friends are like hooked up with Joe. That was kind of weird.
yeah.
Uh, there's been no like you watch Dark and stuff too, right? So like they haven't even hinted
I
about
don't
that on
I
there.
don't watch Dark all the time. I pick through Dark, but
Okay.
no, I haven't heard anything. Even looking at the news on daily, I haven't heard anything about best friends and Joe. It must just be a random thing.
I my overall thought was is that, Johnny kind of got lost in the shuffle here. If they are if this wasn't just like a one off for him.
I did see him attempt to do something and Sanjay kicked him. I did see that.
Okay. No, it just kind of looked like he kind of faded into the background of the whole thing. And, on top of taking the loss, um, I don't know, you would hope you would see maybe like a handshake finish or something like that, but they decided to
Yeah.
make it into an angle. And I was kind of like, meh on that, but the match was good, so what can you do?
I did remember something at the very beginning. Joe was going for the collar elbow tie up, and Johnny just like forearmed him in the face. It's like that was his answer instead of the collar tie up.
Right. I'm just gonna elbow you.
Yeah, just bam. And Joe's like, oh, okay, cool. Let's do this is what we're doing. Okay, sweet.
Time to fall in line. Well, I also wanted to ask you this, Vito. Since we're talking about Johnny Elite, what do you see of him? Like, now that let's say he's signed with AEW. What do you think the ceiling is for a guy like him? Do you think he kind of stays mid card? Do you think they like do something with him? Do you think it's too late for them to like make him into a main eventer? Like, what are your thoughts on like where he's at overall?
Um, if I had to, if I had to book uh Johnny, I'd say uh, he's had a long career. He couldn't have too many years left. He still
He's
looks
in his
great, like I
40s,
said.
right? I mean,
Is he?
he's in his 40s somewhere. I do
I don't know. He's
believe
been around for a long time.
he's like in the.
Remember Eminem?
Oh yeah, he was on Tough Enough too. A lot of people forget that he was
Yeah,
a Tough Enough guy,
yeah.
and
I remember his audition.
he went through a couple different. Like one year, he was like close to getting chosen, but didn't, or like they kicked him off at the last minute or something, and then he like came
Yeah,
back the next year. I think it's seasons 2 and 3. They
he was
fought.
on Survivor too.
Really, I did not know that.
Yeah,
Well, he's done
yeah,
a bunch of like um, side like acting work and different stuff like that. He was really doing that a few years ago. During the whole Lucha Underground thing, because he was, in that era, in that area rather, they were filming it there in Southern California or whatever. And so he was kind of a Hollywood guy. So I don't know. I was just
I'd
asking you
say
that
I'd say
because,
mid card or tag team.
okay. So you don't see
Maybe
like, you don't think he's ever going to be like world champion?
I don't think so.
Sadly, probably not, huh? Like
Yeah, probably not.
that's kind of came and went.
That's if he's signed with AEW. I don't think
It
he
could
did.
be just a one off, yeah.
Yeah.
Could be just a one off deal too. Um, Then we had a backstage segment between the Bucks and Hardys. Jeff is, of course, all banged up from the war with Darby Allin the week prior. Matt says Jeff is fine. He's a real Hardy, not a cosplayer like you two. And so they're finally building this on TV now, which I'm so happy for.
Slowly.
It was a nice little backstage deal between them. Then we get Punk out for commentary, and then we get Hangman Page against Take Shida. I mean, Takeshita, or however Excalibur was pronouncing it. Can we not change this guy's name? I know we're supposed to like not be like childish, but come on. You know what I mean? I know we're not supposed to be like 8 years old. Oh, take shit. But it is. That's how it looks.
Takeshna.
They should have just called him by his first name. Pulled the WWE deal.
I don't even remember his first name. I just wrote.
It's like
Takeshna.
It's like Hiroshimo or Hiroshimu. It's one of those. It's one of those H names.
And he's from DDT.
Yeah, from DDT, which is interesting. Since they're doing all this new Japan stuff, I don't know if they're related in Japan. Those two promotions are not married. But this match was awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. There was another note that they said, I didn't catch his partner's name, but they said that him and his partner dethroned the Golden Lovers for tag titles in Japan, I guess.
See, there you go. He looked good, man. He looked like he could be, like an upper echelon, player from over there. If I followed that stuff more, at first when the match first got going, I was, it really was kind of looking like a Hangman squash because he shined for a long time. And then finally, they start to do some, back and forth stuff. And finally they gave, to Kishida or whatever, they gave him some spots. They did that really cool, when they traded those like super stiff German suplexes. Did you catch that?
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put back-to-back Germans. I liked Hangman's more.
Dude, they both looked pretty stiff, but yeah, I was thinking that as Hangman was bringing him up for his, I was like, oh my gosh, is he gonna do like a Japanese style one as well? And like, sure enough, that's totally something that you would see out of like a Kabashi match or something.
Yeah. Hey, Takeshna did do the like best tope con hero I've seen over the top rope. It was so nice and solid. Caught Hangman dead on, and then he just floated over and barely grabbed the guardrail. It was really nice.
He soared like a bird.
He did.
It was like a bird in flight.
And the other thing I wanted to say real quick was I like when the champion wrestles on TV.
It's great.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? You know what I mean? It's one of those things. Now, WWE has the opposite effect now where, when you're the champion, you don't really have to be on any shows, but like a couple a month.
Yeah, don't even show up sometimes.
And because that's what's happening with Roman now. He's like, he's not working TVs, or he's not working house shows, and he's like barely working TVs. He's like been pulled from some of like the major like events that they're doing and all that. Like he's not on the Hell in the Cell show. All of a sudden, it's like, what? So like, what I think is happening with that is is literally there's been a precedent set, right? Brock Lesnar being the champion for like so many years and just being able to like show up a handful of times a year. Now that Roman is that guy, he was probably like, well, you know, I get the Brock schedule now, right? Like
Oh, okay.
that's literally probably what happened in their negotiations.
That's
But
not good.
anyway, yeah, so you know, the thing that bugged me about this match, there was some incoherent JR mumbling during it. Like he was like trying to talk, so he was trying to say something about how they had sold out this arena a couple weeks in a row, which looks like a really small arena, by the way. I don't want to be that guy once again this week, but like it looked pretty small on TV, but whatever. Um, like JR's just like rambling about it, and then like Excalibur's got to come in and like really quickly like say it professionally, you know, before they go to commercial break, because it was just like, I don't know, dude. I love you, JR, but Jesus. They got to do something about this commentary team. I love Excalibur, okay? I think he's great. And, you know, JR, love him to death. Tony Schiavone used to get on my nerves back in WCW. I could really take him or leave him.
Really?
Yeah. No, man, I think he's fine. But I think it's great that he's back in wrestling. 100%. And it's cool that he's with AEW. Get all that, right? And it's totally, and I respect him, and he's fine. But honestly, back in the day, he was like, to me, he was like the worst part of the whole Monday night experience.
Oh,
He
wow.
would get, is this a hot take? Like,
I think it is.
like, bro, like, oh man,
I
he,
didn't have heat with Tony Schiavone back in the day.
he used to get on my nerves because he was the voice of every, you know, he did the, you know, he said the thing about Foley, and even before that, it was like a running joke, like, because he was the guy that, you know, every single week, this is the greatest night in the history of our sport, you know, every single Nitro was the greatest night in the history of our sport.
Yeah.
And just some of the other things that, like, cliches that he used to, I understand he probably hated his job at this point, right? But like, it was, or whatever, maybe he didn't at that point, but no, like, dude, in my circles, Shivani got on not just mine, but like all of our nerves. Like
Oh,
anyone I
wow.
watched wrestling with back in the day, you know, my brothers, you know, and we were like, he did, and he was fine until the Monday Night Wars. Like that's when it got bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like we liked him before that, but like when he was like the voice of like the shit talking between.
Yeah, it's almost like a heel turn.
Yeah, I mean it was just, you know, I don't know. Anyway, enough about Shivani, but yeah, no, something's got to be
Schiavone
done.
rant.
Something's got to be done about this commentary team. Uh yeah, and let's see here. So,
I'm a fan. Just want to throw that out there. I'm okay
and
with it.
that's
I
fine.
have no qualms.
He doesn't get on my nerves now. He's fine now to me because he has a
I like
completely
that.
different role.
Yeah, I like that it's two nostalgic old timers and the young man in the mask who's like wrangling them together. I think it puts a different spin on the show. I enjoy it.
You ever catch championship wrestling from Hollywood back in the day, like a few years back?
I don't think so.
I
No.
I used to get it on our satellite dish when we lived out at our old house. There's a guy, and you know him, dude. Okay, the guy that rapped with Jamie Kennedy, Stu Stone or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. Yeah.
He was like a color commentator slash manager in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and he was the best. Like the funniest shit I've ever heard since Bobby Heenan. Like, AEW needs to hire Stu Stone. If Tony Khan is listening,
there it is.
Like, dude,
Stu Stone needs to be all elite.
I want an over the top color commentator. You know what I mean? We don't have that anymore. Even on the WWE side, you got Graves, which his whole thing is kind of like heelish, but it's not like over the top, and it's definitely not funny. McAfee is, I think McAfee's great.
McAfee's a fan.
Right, but it's a whole different, vibe. He's not like a heel commentator, but he's hilarious.
I guess they don't tell him anything.
Well, there you go.
He goes in there just like me and you.
Right.
He gets told nothing.
Well, that's great. No, yeah. I mean, we need something. We need some kind of. We need to be a little more entertaining, I think. As a man that used to be at the commentary table myself, I'm just really picky, about that. And I wish we had that. But moving on, we spent so much time on that. So yeah, no, Hangman wins at the GTS, which was a nice payback from Punk's Punk shot lariat last week. I thought that was clever.
He did. You heard it too.
Yeah.
I wrote that down too. Punk shot lariat.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I was like, that's brilliant. Why didn't I think of that last week?
That was a devastating GTS.
Ooh, the dude sold it great because he went down like a sack of bricks. He didn't he didn't do the flip up, bounce up thing. He just like crashed down. That was pretty cool.
Followed the knee down pretty much.
And you don't really see people take it like that often. So that was interesting.
No. Yeah.
I like that. No, great observation.
Then they had a crowd off. Did you see that?
I was going to ask you about this.
Punk had a. They were like just pumping the crowd. And then,
but the crowd ends up chanting for Punk, dude.
Yeah.
They, so maybe there is some credence to the whole, of course, if anybody's going to lean heel in this feud, it's going to be Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can see it happening.
And like we've talked about for the last couple of weeks, I don't know if they go full heel, but at least for this program, in this program, he's the heel.
Yep.
Really, unless they're in like his hometown or something like that.
But right now they are coming both off kind of lukewarm.
You think so?
Because Punk kind of seems kind of, I don't know, cocky.
I think Punk's selling the tickets,
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, duh. Punk sells all the tickets.
And that was part of JR's, he was like trying to say something about Hangman selling out the buildings, and that was kind of weird to say with Punk right there on commentary, because like more than likely Punk probably sold more of those tickets than Hangman, with all due respect, but
oh yeah.
But yeah, no, and then so the crowd chants for Punk, and Hangman's the one that just kind of walks away.
He storms off.
Storms off. I wish he would have gave him the bird before he stormed off, but because he's been doing that.
Yeah.
Keith Lee and Swerve win a squash match.
Oh, hold on a second. There was one thing.
Did I skip over something?
Yeah. Fuego.
Oh, the Fuego promo. Yeah, he called out
House of Black.
Did he call it the House of Black? I thought he challenged someone specifically for Rampage.
No, it's him and the Dark Order against the House of Black, because the House of Black has just been kicking his ass all the time.
Oh, okay. This was the promo where they had where Evil Uno came in, right? Is this the
Yeah.
one? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
For
Now,
some
here's what I
reason, I
was gonna
thought this
say.
was later.
The House of Black is very busy, right?
Right.
They got Fuego and the Dark Order. They got the Varsity Blondes, unless that's wrapped up, but that was just last week. And they also got Death Triangle. Those some busy guys.
So they have 3 concurring feuds.
Yeah.
In the whatever this is, I guess the trios division, the official, unofficial AEW trios division, which hasn't been launched yet.
When Kenny comes back.
Right, we're waiting on Kenny.
Come on, Kenny.
We're waiting on the cleaner. But yeah, you know, Keith Lee and Swerve win a squash match
against the Workhorsemen.
I didn't even catch the dudes' names.
Well, that's the one guy's JD Drake.
Oh, okay,
He's
yeah.
He's part of the one team. And then the other guy is Anthony Henry. The Wingmen, that's what they're called.
Okay.
JD Drake, Cesar Baroni, Pretty Peter Avalon, and Dolph Ziggler's brother.
Oh, okay.
All those guys.
Okay, I didn't realize that they were a stable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, JD Drake is part of that team, but this guy, Anthony Henry, is his tag team partner from Ring of Honor from back in the day. So.
Man.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with all this. I'm glad I have you here to tell me about this stuff because I did not know that.
Yeah. I got you.
Got my back, Vito. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Keeping it 100.
I think
something like that.
Kano does one of those.
Yeah, like the torpedo rolls.
Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say is that slingshot splash that they did, where Swerve kind of just brought Lee in and he just landed on the guy without touching the inside. It was very cool. Did you catch that?
I did not, no.
Yeah, it was like a slingshot splash. Yeah, so Keith Lee was on the apron and Swerve brought him in by pulling the rope like a slingshot.
Right.
And then he just
reeled him in.
Lee just came over the ropes and landed in a splash on the guy.
Oh yeah, okay. I've seen that spot. I've seen someone do that spot back in the 90s. That was like I want to say it was like a Public Enemy or something like
probably.
that, which would make sense.
I love Public Enemy. Those guys
Public
are so
Enemy
cool.
was the bomb.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Rock, Johnny Grunge.
They did not get the respect they deserved.
Man. Yeah, that's a whole nother, body. We likes to party.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. And the finish was a sit-out powerbomb foot stomp. What a finish.
Well, they look like they're on their way, even though they didn't advance anything here, right? There was no, the tag team champs weren't even on this show.
Yes, right? They were. What'd you do? Did you go to the bathroom?
Was this during this segment?
Yeah, after that match, Keith Lee got the microphone and said, with that match, they're in the top 5 now, which brought out Powerhouse and Ricky Starks. And
okay, I missed all of this. I must have been yelling at my children or trying to corral them or something. I'm not sure because I saw all right. They're just. It was one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, they're just going to squash these dudes. I'm really just kind of half paying attention to this match. And then I saw it like end, and I was like, all right, cool. And then, I just figured it was over.
Yeah, no, Keith Lee got it. They came out. Swerve called Ricky Starks a bar of soap with pearls.
What? What does that even mean?
It was the shirt he was wearing, and he's wearing a pearl necklace for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Very funny.
So he looked like a bar of Irish Spring or something, maybe? It was
Yeah,
like green.
something like that.
Yeah.
No, it was a weird white striped shirt. I don't know. It was very weird.
Okay.
But then they basically said, we deserve the shot before you, blah, 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 blah. And then the champions came out, and guess who was right? That's right. Triple threat match at pay-per-view for the titles.
Okay, see, there you go.
Called it weeks ago.
I'm glad I have you backing me up on this, Vito, because, like, I don't know. I was thinking that, like, right after the show wrapped, I'm like, why was there no tag team like, why didn't they do anything with the tag titles?
And
that
another
was weird.
thing is Christian got in the mic and said, basically, in not so many words, all the little guys from the teams are going to wrestle next week. So Swerve, Jungle Boy, and Ricky Starks.
That should be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, no, I love cruiserweight triple threat matches. That's money.
Yeah.
That's money every single time. Yeah, so then we get, unless I missed something else in between here, which seems like this is where I lapsed out, we got the MJF Wardlow.
My
deal,
next
right?
note after that is time for lashings.
This was weird. Okay, Vito, so why did... Now, the Cody thing, that was like with a kendo stick or something, right? Or was that with the belt?
I was gonna look it up, but I got distracted with something. But
yeah,
I feel like it was with like a whip.
Right. So
I feel like it was a whip.
So he uses a belt here, right? It was like a belt.
The weakest hits I've ever seen. The first two.
Right.
Then he started to get a little tough.
But Wardlow's just no-selling him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wrote. Weak shots, Wardlow no-sell.
Yeah. Well, he no-sells like all of MJF's hits, and MJF starts getting frustrated, and he doesn't actually sell a shot till Spears hits him.
Spears' second shot.
Oh, okay. It was a second shot. All right.
Yeah.
So then he kind of starts to sell a little bit. Like, all right, dude, this is starting to hurt a little bit.
I think it's because the belt came over and hit like the front of his shoulder right here.
Oh, okay.
That's what I saw. The belt like came over his shoulder.
All right. Well, regardless of the questions I have around it, I think they did this fine. It came off pretty standard. MJF ends up giving Wardlow the low blow, and they just beat the crap out of him with his handcuffs on. He let Spears pin him for the fake 3 count.
Yeah, he wins. He wins an imaginary match.
These guys are going to get killed.
Yeah.
At one point or another,
yeah.
And it's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
So this, regardless of the...
Wait, he still has Spears in a steel cage match, right?
Now, they put up the graphic for the match. And I couldn't really hear the commentary, and I don't know if they mentioned...
I missed the graphic, but
they
I know
put
it's
up the graphic.
Because,
I saw it.
I missed it. But it was part of the original deal, so...
So we'll see. I can't complain anything about this. This was great. I liked what they did here. There was really nothing I can do to pick it apart.
That kick in the balls really got me.
you know, sometimes it's just as simple as a low blow.
Yeah.
You know, just don't overthink it.
Oh.
Next, we get a backstage segment from my favorite, Vito. Roppongi Vice in the house. Reunited once again. Trent Beretta getting double screen time on the show. You gotta love it.
They said Roppongi Vice is back full time. He used the words full time. Does that mean him and best friends are no more? No more Trent and Chucky T?
Wasn't he part? Didn't he come out in the run in though for Joe?
Yeah,
so he's still with the best friends.
Yeah, but he said Roppongi Vice is full time, the tag team.
Right.
I understand the friends are together. I think they're part of Chaos.
Well, there's
the whole group.
It's probably like they're still buddies and they're still a stable or whatever, but
yeah.
Chucky T is probably going to do singles or tag with someone else while Trent does this, probably.
Yeah.
Is how they do it.
I'm down with it, though. Roppongi Vice is awesome.
I hope they play the original theme music. Gosh, I'm holding out for that one. But they challenge FTR for the ROH tag team titles, so I assume that's going to be on AEW, maybe Ring of Honor. I don't know. We'll have to see. They didn't really specify which
maybe
show.
Double or Nothing.
It might be, but gosh, yet another match? There's already like 10 million.
Bring it on, baby. Bring it on.
Phoenix and O'Reilly, man, it's kind of hard to say. I really liked this one. I don't know if I liked this more than Hangman Takeshita. But they were pretty close. I mean, maybe I lean Hangman's match more because it was a little more like strong style oriented. But I
like Hangman's match a lot more.
Really? I love a match like this, too. I thought O'Reilly and Phoenix did a hell of a job.
I was not... I thought the beginning was kind of boring.
I could see that.
The subs and the pins in the beginning were... I don't know. I didn't go for it.
No one was buying the quick pin routine.
It fell off for a while. They did a couple cool moves in the middle, you know. But the submission at the end, cool. I liked it.
Yeah, O'Reilly taps him out, and he moves on, which was really naturally the only thing, like, logical, right? I mean, O'Reilly Joe, just to me, sounds better on paper than O'Reilly Phoenix. No disrespect to Phoenix, but it's like, then we would see...
Phoenix Joe.
Yeah. Then we'd have to see another, like Joe against another high flyer for the, you know.
No, that Joe O'Reilly match is going to be a banger.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. I don't know if that's English or Swahili.
It is.
Or what.
It is. I'm going with it. I like it.
Yeah, O'Reilly taps him out with the arm bar, so solid stuff.
Arm and leg something.
Vito, you know what we have next, brother? You know what segment's up next?
Your guys.
Oh, dude.
Jericho Appreciation Society.
The Jericho segment. Vito, I don't know if we have enough time on this podcast to...
Oh, my gosh.
For me to delve on everything I liked and hated about this segment. How did it come across to you? I'm dying to know.
A lot of clutter,
right?
And weirdness. William Regal's story about the toothbrush took so long.
Right. Well, this starts with Jericho saying some taboo stuff about Regal, making fun of, making light of his drug issues. That ties in the
fact that he almost died.
Yeah. That ties in, and then he starts talking down the other guys. He talks down Danielson, and he ties it all together with a jab, about Moxley being in rehab. So that was kind of the whole spiel of that. And then Regal does this weird. Did you catch the cringy quip about the burning orphanage? Like, what was that? He said he was so tired of hearing Jericho's voice, he'd rather hear screams from a burning orphanage. It's like,
no, I missed that.
It's like,
oh my God, no.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I gotta go back and listen to that.
And then he
That's
follows
hilarious.
it up with this toothbrush butt story thing. Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
Jericho said that he'd pee in his tea.
Right, like he did at the WrestleMania build-up. I was literally thinking about that while they were on the mic. I'm like, I wonder if he's going to say, bring up how he beat him at WrestleMania. And he didn't say that, but he did bring up, the peeing in his tea.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. This is one of those things where I feel like, okay, there's a lot of things that I think AEW has over current WWE product right now. But when they try to do things like this, I understand giving the guys free form to do what they want and to be creative and not have other people speak for them. But sometimes it goes completely off the rails, and I think that this is one of those situations.
Yeah.
Like,
and when they're talking about the match and what they wanted to call it, I want to call it the building beatdown.
The building beatdown? Well, I thought they were going to do blood and guts.
Me too.
But instead, they just it's like, no, we want Stadium Stampede. And then Moxie's like, no, we're not going to do that. And then I'm like, okay, great, blood and guts. And then he's like, no, we're just going to have a street fight and call it something else. And it's like, what? Blood and guts, bro.
Yeah.
We want blood
building
and guts.
Beatdown. That's what I'm going for.
The BBB, the Better Business Bureau. So yeah, this was weird. But then we go to kind of the back nine of this show, Vito. We get Britt Baker versus Maki Ito.
Yeah.
Who's back, apparently. I had never seen this woman before, but it was interesting. I've heard the
she's
name.
Awesome.
I've heard the name, but I literally the first time I ever saw a singing anime character come out and wrestle. So
I'm a fan.
That was neat.
I'm a fan of Maki Ito. She's cool. Yeah.
And Vito, wouldn't you guess that I missed the end of this? I'm assuming Britt Baker won, but I don't know that.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
With the flip off and a lockjaw.
So, what do you think? Do you think we're gonna see? I'll ask you. I'll actually ask you this question later. We'll hold off on that after we wrap this up. Serena Deeb then comes out, calls out Dustin Rhodes, browbeats him for saying that she couldn't beat Thunder Rosa, tells him to say it to her face and says, oh, no, he just stands there. And she's like, oh, yeah, no, you won't because you don't have the balls.
Yeah.
And so then
she slapped him.
She slaps him, yes, and then Thunder Rosa runs out and accidentally ends up hitting Dustin. And so there's kind of a skirmish, like during their little skirmish there. And then so Deeb gets away with the title, and so now we've brought Dustin Rhodes into this storyline, which is interesting.
Yeah. I think I had said some disparaging words about Serena Deeb in the past, but I think she looked good on this last one. I think the stuff she said was right on. She talked about getting the breast implant for a per-real man. I thought that was fucking awesome.
Right.
Excuse my language. Hope you don't have
I don't have a bleep machine, Vito. No, it's fine.
But actually, she's now my pick. I want her to win at Double or Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. Deeb for the win.
Well, we're building towards that match, and it would be, can't really blame them because the Thunder Rosa title run has been less than thrilling, to say the
Yeah.
least. But then we get the main event: Vito, Adam Cole, Jeff Hardy. Of course, Jeff Hardy's all hurt. That's the story of this match, is that it just wasn't a fair fight. There was some hope for a second, but Adam Cole pretty much just kicked his ass.
Yeah, and he attacked him early, so we didn't get no
Yes,
boom.
yes, and the early. That's like when you're playing 2K22 and you accidentally hit the run in button.
Yeah.
And you run in during during the other guy's entrance, and you're like, no, wait, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, I felt ripped off. I didn't get to do the boom while I'm sitting in my living room.
Right.
Like a little kid.
We want the entrance, damn it.
Yes.
And this is great because this also furthered the whole Young Bucks thing. We got another segment to where they came out as this all ended here. It got kind of busy, but it was fine.
Cole won with the weirdest boom. He hit him from the side.
Right, yeah. So you think that was maybe like
an angle.
That was part of like the selling of the match, possibly with the storytelling and Jeff's injuries, or
it seemed hurried. The finish seemed hurried, so like it's like he had to hurry up and get the boom off, no matter where it came from. Yeah,
they did go overtime tonight. It did not wrap until like a few minutes after 10.
Yeah,
here on the West Coast.
So
that could have been it.
And you're right; it did get very cluttered toward the end with like Sting and
right,
Darby
Bucks,
coming out.
Bucks hit the ring. They attack. Sting and Darby make the save. And then Fish and O'Reilly come out to, I guess, even the odds, oddly enough, for once. And so, yeah, I guess we're going to get some mix mashing of these tag teams, possibly an 8-man coming up.
Well, they did the chair on Sting's ankle, so I put on my notes, Sting leaving TV, ?
That could be.
So
I didn't even think about it that way. Yeah, no, I mean it could be just to sell him, not having to do much in the match. Maybe they get him out of the match.
Yep.
There's a few different ideas there. One thing I did want to ask you is, what do you think? We have Adam Cole advancing tonight. We have Britt advancing in the women's. Do you think we're headed to like a husband and wife winners?
Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
This thing? That's what I'm thinking.
That's my pick.
There you go. That's got to be it, right?
Yep. Bebe's for the win.
Right. And then they can say that, they will be the first and only ever, couple to win the Owen Hart tournament. And then next year, Sammy and Tay Conte can try to do it. Try to one-up them.
They're the mixed tag champs, I think, right? And that, I don't know what the title's called, but Mexico man and woman title.
One of those AAA intergender. Yeah. The intergender championship passed down from Andy Kaufman.
But
star rating though, Dynamite. Star rating though, Vito. What are we giving this Dynamite?
Check my notes here.
I haven't went higher than like a 3.5 or 3.75, but I'm almost willing to throw this into 4-star territory. I enjoyed it that much. I think the action was that solid, between the O'Reilly match and the Page match.
I'm gonna say 4 stars. I'm gonna be with you there. 4 stars.
I think it's a 4.
Yeah.
It's somewhere, I don't think I should give it. It just doesn't feel like it should be in the 3 range. It feels like more of a 4. So
no, good show. It was a good show.
And we've only got one more Dynamite to cover before the big PPV.
That's right.
So that's going to be very, very awesome. Vito, before we wrap this up,
What's up?
where can we find you at, buddy? We got the YouTube channel. Let's also plug the
Yep.
Power Pit while we're at it.
Vito TV, Power Pit Pro Wrestling in Roseburg, Oregon.
That's right.
First Saturday of every month is usually it's when we have our shows. So,
And you can find them on the socials, the Facebook,
yeah,
the
Power
YouTube.
Pit or Power Pit Pro Wrestling or PPPW Wrestling. Just Google them. We're there.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube, Facebook. I think we got TikTok too, actually. So
check out the
out.
YouTube. Some of those older videos. There's a very handsome fella that used to
on
host
the recap,
those shows.
The brand on the recap.
That's right, my man. That's right. Well, I guess that's it. It's time for the brand to go to bed. I'm sure it's time for Vito to go to bed.
Is.
We're burning the midnight oil here.
Yeah, we are.
On the West Coast. But Vito, thank you for joining me, and we will talk to you.
Always a pleasure.
We'll talk to you soon. Give me some Wolfpack, bro. On the way out.
Bam.
Yeah. Dr. Black
See you next week.
is out.
Peace.
Yeah.